Today, potential jurors were questioned and given a list of celebrities connected to Combs.
Okay, Fox 5's Lisa Evers was inside the courtroom all day, and Lisa, today was all about finding the 12 men and women who will decide his fate.
Yes, and a very interesting day and a very busy day here at federal court, Stephen, Natasha. A lot is on the line for Sean Diddy Combs in this federal sex trafficking and racketeering case. If he's found not guilty, he walks out of the MDC a free man. If he is found guilty, he's looking at the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. Now, several dozen prospective jurors were questioned today by Judge Arun Subramanian as the jury selection process got underway in full force. Now, everyone being considered this week was part of an original group of 700 potential jurors who filled out questionnaires and they weeded through that number last week. Many were disqualified. So today, Sean Diddy Combs was in court wearing his court-authorized new trial uniform, which was a white shirt, a black sweater, black pants, sitting there, and glasses, paying very close attention to every single word that these potential jurors were saying, as well as what the judge was saying. Now, his lawyers, they did question some of them. By the end of today's session, more than a half a dozen were disqualified for various reasons. Now, Judge Arun Subramanian, one of the things he mentioned several times during the day, both the morning session and this afternoon session, was that jurors, obviously, many had already heard of this case, but the key point was whether or not they could base a decision and base a verdict on what is presented as evidence in the courtroom. Now, there were a number of jurors who were disqualified today because of being sex assault survivors or having somebody close to them who was a sex assault survivor. Also, law enforcement people, anybody related to law enforcement, people who had encounters with the criminal justice system, and there were also people for various jobs and duties that they did that they took issue with. But they were very careful about it. It's really, as one jury consultant told me, a deselection process at this point, where they are eliminating people who are not qualified to serve. Now, one of the other reasons, there were several jurors who were disqualified because of their lack of proficiency in English. Some of them could not even fully understand the instructions that the judge was giving to them. There were other people who were there, and because of things that had happened to them, domestic violence incidents to people that they loved, were disqualified. And also another question that kept coming up, because there was an additional questionnaire for these semifinalists, if you want to call them that, in the jury pool, was basically, would they be disturbed talking about sexual acts with other jurors as they were deliberating on a verdict, and would they be upset or traumatized by talk of descriptions and evidence and testimony about sexual assault. So it's extremely thorough. Seeing that process firsthand there inside the courtroom was really an eye-opener for me, and I know it was for a lot of the other people in there too, because they're very concerned about how the jurors will react to the type of evidence that is going to be presented. And also the other key concern was obviously the tremendous amount of pretrial publicity that has happened, that has been out there in this case, an unprecedented number of documentaries, and also, that people, could they really make their decision based on the evidence in court, not what they've seen in a documentary, not what they've seen in the media. But that's what's happening today. This will continue with day 2 tomorrow. Guys, back to you in the studio.
Huge responsibility, no doubt about that. All right, thanks, Lisa, for the insight.